Smart sauce. You did. Oh, are we supposed to wait for Laura though?
Oh, are you waiting on me?
No, are you good?
Yes, I'll be quiet.
Sorry.
Did you hit record already?
I did.
Oh.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Happy Friday!
Happy
Yay!
Friday!
Hey, it's Casey and Kara with Create Captivate. That's a mouthful. And today we are here with episode number 19 of our 5-minute-ish FriYAY video series.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. We're here and we're doing it here from BizConnect, hanging out up here in the lobby area. And today we are going to continue our conversation about social media.
Yes.
Social media marketing is always a hot topic, and we have some pointers for you. If you have ever struggled to get people to pay attention to your events and get people in the door for whatever event your business or organization might be having.
To the event.
If you've had trouble getting people in the door, we've got some hot tips for you today about how to use social media, some unique, fun ways to garner some attention for that.
Yeah, event promotion.
Yeah, so event promotion, here we go. All right, so one thing that we always see that really benefits the business that's hosting an event is when they collaborate with other people for that event, right?
Yes.
So it's always great to have that kind of mutually beneficial audience. There are probably people in your network or that have some of the same kind of ideal followers as you. And if you can come together, that's always a good thing, right?
Yeah.
So how do you translate that into social media?
Well, there's a few things that you can do. Tagging. And when you're tagging, you want to make sure that you tag, if you have a co-host, make sure you tag the co-host. If you have the location that you're doing it at, make sure you tag the location, as well as if it's at a business or a location and they have a social media account, make sure you're tagging their account.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, anyone that you can get to be a sponsor of your event, you want to make sure and tag them as well. Make sure that they're getting some kind of digital benefit out of paying and helping support your organization and your events.
Yeah, and just make sure that anyone who you co-host with or have sponsor or the location, anytime any of them post anything about the event coming up or while the event's occurring or after, make sure they tag you as well.
Absolutely. Another thing to consider is tickets. Okay, so the thing with promoting your events on social media is that you want to make sure and just eliminate any ambiguity or any questions that someone might have before they even ask the question, right? Save yourself the time and energy to fully fill out that event space and give all the details. Disclose all the information, exactly. And that's going to save you time and energy and confusion on the long run. Tickets is one of those pieces to the puzzle that needs to be very clearly conveyed from the get-go.
And seems to be missing a lot of the time.
It does.
You know, not every event has tickets, but at least still post that whether there are or there aren't tickets.
Right, or maybe your tickets aren't ready to be released when you set up that event. You want to go ahead and get it out there. There are, on some of the different platforms like Facebook, you can put in there that tickets will be available soon, and then you can go in and edit your event and put the link in, and then it notifies people when if they've marked themselves as going or interested, it notifies them that tickets are now available. So it's pretty cool that that's even a thing.
Yeah, or at least disclose the information that you have in the About section.
Right. Fill out that About section, let people know, is it free? Do I have to pay for it? If so, when and where can I expect to see tickets, and how do I go about registering?
Right, and if you're doing tickets on Instagram and you want to share that information, which you should,
yes,
make sure that you put either the link or the website or your website in your post. If you're doing stories, make sure you add the link or tell them where they can find the link, as well as if you have a swipe up option, which not everyone does, but if you do, do a swipe up to the
I
link.
mean, the swipe up is goals though, because you have to
So
get
is
to
goals.
you have to
It's
get
so
to so many
nice.
It's 10,000 followers on Instagram to get to that point.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a lot for a lot of our smaller clients. So, but it's doable and you can do it. So the next thing to think about is to just making sure that copy of the event is really crisp and clear to understand. Now, this is kind of on the polar end of the spectrum, right? So it's either people don't put out enough information and it's vague, or they go overboard with the information.
And then no one actually reads it.
Right.
And then they have a bunch of questions and they'll message you.
So you want to make sure that if you've got a lot of information to share about your event, you want to break up that copy into different paragraphs, maybe use bullet points.
Emojis.
If your audience speaks emoji, then speak an emoji to them.
Pictures.
Break it up, make it fun. Find different ways to like really get those lengthy paragraphs broken apart into very digestible little pieces of information.
Try making, your copy text. Make it really catchy, but please also make sure that your grammar and your spelling are also on point.
Right. And what kind of goes along with this too is the headlines or titles of events. So sometimes we get a little too into it and we want to make our event some really fun, catchy name. But really what works best for social media promotion of events, you want to make sure your title of the event is very concise.
Very on point.
Right. It's clear. It's easy to understand. You don't need to put your business name. You don't want to make it too long, because you think about 90% of people are looking on social media on their mobile device, right? So if they're on their phones and they see your event and they have to like click on something to go over here to open up bigger to see the full title of your event, most people aren't going to do that.
They're going to pass it on
because we have such short attention spans. You have those micro bursts of opportunity to really grab someone's attention. And so you want it to just be like, oh, it's clear, I get it, I know what it is. And then they can see who the hosts of the event are. If it's on Facebook, you can actually set it up with your page so they can see where it's coming from. So you don't have to worry about that. So maximizing exposure is always a question we get with promoting events on social media too. So how can I really use this and use other digital marketing tools to get more eyes on my event and get it out there? Email.
There you go.
Send it out to your network. When you are announcing an event or releasing tickets for something, send an email to your email list. Use that as another channel just to keep people in the loop.
Right, and make sure you have those links set up to where they can refer to your social media.
Great. So another part, now this is always a fun one too, because one of the questions we get asked most frequently is, how do I, this hashtag thing, like how do I really hone in on this? What are some tips and tricks you have? So for events specifically, we have some good tips for you. Every event should have its own hashtag that you use in all of your posts and promotions for it. And then your audience is going to see that and they're going to use it too.
Right.
It should,
as well as your co-host and your sponsor should also be
right, and
in
just
the location.
Make that clear from the get-go. You have this fun hashtag that's going to go along, and then you can go back through that hashtag, search through, and see all the amazing user-generated content from your event, and you can look back on it and go, oh my gosh, that was, people really enjoyed it, and you can see all the different photos and videos that were taken, and it's just kind of a cool thing to do. So, and use it, on Instagram, on Twitter, and this is one of those rare instances when we talked about hashtags before in one of our most recent videos.
This is the rare occasion.
And I wrinkle my nose, right, at using hashtags on Facebook. I'm like, I don't like it. This is one of those rare instances where we do feel like you can get away with it and it's fun and promotional without being too pushy or salesy.
Exactly.
Or like you're trying too hard. Don't try too hard.
But if you have even handouts and print materials before the event or at the event, definitely make sure you add the hashtag on there too to get people promoting to using the hashtag on social media.
Yeah, so these are just a few things that we think you can do kind of across the board, just some different ideas. But we want to break it down for you platform by platform and tell you the best ways to promote your event on each one. So let's start with the big one, Facebook. Facebook first. So create your event page, right?
Oh, please.
Optimize your event page. Fill out every single space where they give you the opportunity. Right. The description, the categories, the tags.
If you've had this event a year or two before, please add photo albums in the events with some pictures and videos of the past years. So if people go through there and they're like, oh, I've never been to this before, if they have photos of past years, they can see that.
Yeah, put your ticket link in there. Make sure that you engage with your audience prior to the event. So get them a little hyped up about it. So drop into the event page itself and show them little bits and pieces of what to expect and what the kind of behind the scenes tasks are to get ready for it. You can even do like stories, right? So do little Facebook stories of the planning stages. When you get, when your decor comes in or whatever you've ordered for your event, you can just take little pictures and videos and share those. Use that hashtag for the event.
Exactly.
And it's just little, quick, easy stuff. It's kind of hard for a lot of our clients. Social media is so far outside their comfort zone or their realm that I feel like a lot of them struggle. But once you get into the routine of it, it becomes second nature to you eventually.
Exactly.
So share about some thoughts on Instagram.
Instagram is a big one for the photos and videos, especially when you're having an event. Beforehand, during, and after. So you definitely, if you have a brand or a sponsor, you're going to get a lot of engagement as well because you're going to have them posting while you're posting. So you definitely want to make sure, please do stories.
Yes.
I know video's not for everyone, but please do them. Do an IGTV. Do Instagram
I was just going to yell at Laura. Laura, do you hear that? Do stories.
Do stories. Do the befores. Like we mentioned with Facebook, when you're getting in the products, when you're planning, at the event, please be taking videos, pictures, posting content during the event and after. Showing how the event went. If anyone tagged you, oh, these girls had a really fun time at the event. If you have speakers, please do like an about me, or they take over your stories for the day.
Do a takeover.
Do takeovers. They're really fun. A lot of times I've seen musicals. The company, they'll have let's say there's 5 main characters. They'll have each week, they'll have one of them take it over leading up to the opening night of the show.
Yeah, that's a great transferable lesson. So there are so many different types of businesses and organizations that are using these tools and doing it kind of in their own way. But I think it's important to take a step back every once in a while and kind of just borrow different concepts from other industries.
Yeah, and everyone can do it. I know stories are hard, but once you get into it, they're really easy. I mean, it's anywhere from taking a video of what the room looks like to people coming in the door to anything really. It doesn't have to specifically be on yourself.
Right. Yeah, so there's a lot of opportunity there. There's also a lot of opportunity to promote your event on LinkedIn, especially if you're business to business, especially if your event is a business event.
Yes. Anything professional, conferences.
Right. Networking events, conferences, workshops, any kind of speaking engagement. Use that platform to spread the word to like-minded professional people. Tell me about Twitter. What do you know about Twitter?
So for Twitter, it's definitely going to be most of your information, short, sweet, time and date, or this is the speaker that we've got lined up. Anything like that. Sometimes you can post memes or GIFs, any kind of thing like that.
On a side note for Twitter, I also as an individual like to use it at events.
Yes.
So what I like to do, which helps grow a following, is when you're at an event, you can go and while you're listening to whatever keynote speaker or whoever it might be, follow them and then quote them, write down one of the things they said and then quote it and put it on Twitter and tag them
and add them,
and they will retweet that.
And sometimes they'll respond to you a lot of the time. And starting that conversation between attendees and speakers is a great thing to do.
Yeah. So let's talk about one that we don't talk about often, but Snapchat. I was actually having a conversation at BizConnect this week with a group of business owners who were like, no, but my kids love Snapchat. I'm not into it. I'm like, listen, if you are having a public event with maybe someone in the millennial age range, you need to think about Snapchat and how it might work for you, or even teenagers or even younger audiences.
Maybe like 30 and under, 35 and under.
Yeah, I'm like, maybe I'm an outlier. I'm a little bit outside that box, but I go to an event and I'm like, oh, I want like whatever filter or lens is available.
Right.
So
that's another thing.
That's the way that you can
Geofilters.
really use it, is you can create, or we can create for you, which we've done before, geo-fenced filters.
And guys, these are so cheap.
It's dirt cheap. Like, it's kind of gross how cheap they are.
You can fumble around your house and your car looking for changed paper keys.
Right. So for an example, we did a geofence filter for Get Pride this summer, which was out here in the Palace Shops and Station parking lot.
The fence part.
So geofencing, if you aren't aware, is you actually go into their platform and you don't have to have a personal account to advertise and do this on Snapchat, by the way. You don't have to start an account. You can start a business account and just do geofencing filters and lenses. So you go in and you actually like draw a little line on a map of exactly the area that you want your filter to be available at. So like when I go and my phone shows that I'm out here in the parking lot of Palace Shops, these filters are gonna pop up for me.
Yeah, they'll pop up on your screen when you're taking a picture. And the greatest thing about these is not only do people post them on Snapchat, a lot of times they download them, they'll repost them onto Instagram, they'll repost them onto their Facebook.
Exactly. And the best part about that is when you do these, you have that data and analytics information available to you on Snapchat afterwards. So we saw that, you know, we did these, a couple of filters for Get Pride this summer, and it was like 1,600 people saw it, a couple hundred used it, and then of that, another portion actually you saw, like we could see that they saved it and downloaded the image and probably used it on another platform. You can't see where they used it unless they hashtag your event. Or, you know, that's how you can find those different things being shared in different places. So it's really fun. Oh, and by the way, it was less than $10 to do 2 of those lenses and get it in front of, you know, so like over 1,000 people's eyes. So
great for your events, cheap way to do marketing, and it's amazing. Another fun thing that you can kind of get, you know, more words out and get more people excited is do some kind of fun contests. A great idea would be along with that Snapchat, if you did a contest with take the picture with the filter and post it and tag us, or anything really, any time of like contest to get everyone kind of posting on their social media. Ends up going to more people see it.
Right.
Influencer.
I was just gonna say, ooh, influencer time. So a lot of the people who come through our workshops, when I talk about influencers, are just kind of like, what the heck is that anyway? So influencers are just people who have built a following of some sort on whatever platform, maybe multiple, and they have an audience that parallels maybe your ideal audience. And so like if Kara had built this wonderful Instagram following and I had a product that I thought was kind of in her realm or her interests, I could either pay her to share the information about it, or I could gift it to her. Depending on, you know, there are different levels of influencers. There's like way up there mega influencers, and then there's like micro influencers.
And sometimes they'll work with you. If you're a nonprofit, sometimes they'll work with you and not charge you. It also depends. Some of them, there are now management teams, kind of like if you're a modeling agency, there are now management teams for influencers. But another thing about influencers is that some of them have a blog, some of them do not. But if they do have a blog, you can have them write an article about
your event
it coming up, as well as afterwards writing how the event went. but it's a great way to have them also be posting during the event. Think of it as a paid ad that continuously moves the entire season of your event.
Right. And you think about it, so what's the benefit in working with that influencer? It's really just because they've taken the time to really craft their message and connect with their audience, and their audience already knows them, already trusts them, already likes them. So whatever you say, whatever product you promote, or whatever, event you're talking about, it's going to automatically go, oh, well, that must be legit because Kara's amazing. I've been following her for a long time and I totally trust what she says. So,
or, some people get really caught up in the influencers and they go, oh my gosh, they went to this. I have to go to this now. So you can have both those kind of sides. But the whole point of influencers is having a trusted person who goes out there, works with these companies one-on-one personally, and tells you about the information. So just make sure if you do the influencer route, make sure you're picking someone that does have the same audience as you, is loyal, and is going to post good, honest content.
Yeah. So one last big tip is when you're promoting these events online, so you want to have some kind of game plan of how often are you going to push these events out on different platforms, and that's great. But also think about live at the event.
Yes.
So go live, right? Go live on Instagram. Go live on Facebook. Walk
you can do
around.
It from the event. Do it from your main company networks.
Right.
Do it all.
Walk around. Give a tour. Ask people some. Even plan ahead and say, oh, I know this influencer is going to be here at my beer and wine tasting, and and they are here for foods, this is like a food event. Then go up to them and be like, okay, what's your picks for the day? What do you recommend people try?
People from a podcast who are coming, have them do a live podcast there.
Yeah.
Just great ways to do that and do lives. They're fun, they're entertaining. If people can't make it to the event, they can watch them, and it makes them more excited for next year's event that hopefully they can go to.
Yeah, and then you have that content too for next year when you want the event to be even bigger and better, right? So you can take that and you can clip pieces of it down, and you can reuse it and repurpose it to promote your event the following year.
Any videos or content you get, you can create a video and post it on YouTube. And then that way people can find a full-length video of the event, see what it's like, see, how it went, that sort of thing. But the biggest thing of all that people usually forget is the things to do after the event.
Yeah.
You've done the event, you've worked it up so much, and sometimes you just forget what to do after the event. Please make sure after the event, you recap. How did the event go?
Yeah.
Post pictures and videos from the event. Have other people ask, your followers, how did the event go? Did you like it? Have them comment on the post. Comment into your inbox through stories, anything like that. Have them comment direct opinions about it onto the Facebook event page.
Yeah.
Save those testimonials.
Yeah, save those testimonials and use it in all your promotional material for the next year. It's just kind of a no-brainer. You want to capitalize on it while it's still on people's fresh on their minds, right? So you want to get that information right after the event's over and check in and have some gratitude. Show your gratitude too, of thank you so much for making this event a success. If it was a charity event, share with people how much money you raised for your charity. Share with people how many lives were affected in a positive way.
How many people came to the event. But also, create on your company or whatever it is, your main Facebook page, Instagram page, but on your Facebook page, create a photo album for the event.
Yeah. Definitely make a photo album and then go back through, on Facebook, the community tab. Go back through that community tab and look back and see as people are sharing, and ask people for permission. If there was some photographer there that you didn't know was planning to come, reach out to them and ask if they'll send you some files or if you can reshare them. But just give credit. Don't swipe someone's photos without asking. That's
even
rude.
Just at least put it in the description section. Definitely ask for permission.
Tag their page.
But yes.
Yeah.
Please
So,
get permission.
We could probably go on and on about this all day, but there's so many opportunities out there for you guys to really use these free tools that are out there and get some attention and get some feet in the door at your event and at your location. So use it wisely, though. If you're going to do it, go all in, just commit.
Go all in, commit, do it as much as possible as you can, and trust me, it'll pay off in the end.
It definitely will. So thanks for tuning in for another 5 Minute-ish FriYAY. Tune in next Friday. We will be live again, and we are going to talk about
outsourcing
your social media marketing. So what are some things to think about or consider if you're contemplating going down that road? What are your options? How to find the right company to work with, that kind of thing. So should be a fun one.
Yeah, if you have any questions about event promotion, please drop them in the comments below. If you have any great tips that you would love to share, things that have worked for you, please also drop them down below in the comment section.
Always happy to have user feedback. So.
Yes, please comment, share below. If you have an event coming up or you know anyone who does, share our post, and be on the lookout for workshops.
Yep.
The second week in October, I believe, is Advanced Facebook.
And then at the end of the month, we've got a YouTube class. The first ever YouTube class coming up. What? It's going to be a good time. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
Bye.